It came with a real fight today that I was really fired up to see on the onslaught of the game. But you just can't have the self-inflicted wounds and expect to win football games that we had today. Whether it be the penalty that we got to give them back 4 down, the opportunity in the red zone to score, or whether it be turning the football over on our kickoff and giving them the short field. That offense is too explosive. They're too good. They're too fast to do that to those guys. And we get big play after big play today. Whether it was broken plays or whether it was plays that was designed, these guys came out ready to play, and we got to get better. And really the focus just becomes about us, right? We got to go out there and focus on us and what we need to do better in order to find ways to win a football game.
Yeah, Coach, how's that one get away from you in the fourth quarter? You playing through most of that until the end, and then kind of got away in the fourth quarter.
Really, I attribute that to, the giving them the points there at the end by giving it back to them instead of the 3. The fumble really got away, and then the big plays that they were able to make with their guys down the field on the football that we were not able to track and make some of those plays. A couple of times we had him in the backfield. He scrambled out. Darnold made a couple of good plays down the field. Those things in football games happen, but you got to limit that when that happens more than once, particularly versus a good football team like the Minnesota Vikings is going to get you beat.
Then, just the elephant in the room, Kirk hasn't had a touchdown pass in 4 games, 8 interceptions. Dude, what has to happen for you all to look at the backup quarterback, Michael?
We got to execute better in the red zone. A lot of the things that you got to do and go out there and get done in practice, we got to come to life in the games, and that just hadn't happened the last couple of weeks. And that's something that we got to get better. Kirk threw for 300 and whatever amount of yards. We were able to run the ball in the end zone. We got to the red zone. The goal today was to run in the end zone. These guys played a lot of combo coverage down the red zone. We knew it'd be tough to throw it in. Our plan was to run it in. We ran a couple in there, but we got to do a better job of executing in the red zone all around. We had that many opportunities we have. I think it was 4 or 5. I think we only got 2 touchdowns out of that. You got to get more than that like those guys did. They were able to out-execute us in the red zone, and that's the story of the game.
So you're sticking with Cousins. You don't have any questions?
Everything is always discussed when you go watch the tape and do all those type of things. But like Kirk Cousins is our quarterback. We'll have the ability to go watch this tape just like we do every single week. Kirk played significantly better than he did the week before. We got a chance to go out there and focus on us and get a chance to go out there and really work on what we do and what we do well. And we'll do whatever is best to go win football games. And Kirk's definitely a part of that.
The penalties came back, especially again today.
Crushed us.
Surprising to you after the way you addressed it?
I got to go look at them. This business, you can't really talk about penalties, and I won't. But I'll go look at the penalties and see what they were. But I won't make those excuses. They can't happen. It was the same officials for those guys that we had. And if they didn't get those penalties, we must be doing something wrong.
What was happening in the secondary? Both of the receivers were able to have big days.
The first one in the early going looked like a broken play. We got a nice pressure, severely underthrown ball by Darnold that the receiver made a great adjustment on. Tracked it, Addison, and made a heck of a play. One of the other bigger ones looked like a sack or a near sack. He was able to step up, avoid a sack, and really throw a strike down the field when a middle field player left the middle of the field. And then he threw some real dimes. He threw one to Addison down the sideline in the one-on-one coverage. He was able to throw a couple balls down the field and really track the football that way. We got to go look at all of them, but in the first half, he did a nice job on some of the guys. They did a nice job of really throwing the ball away from AJ and making other people make plays, and we didn't go out there and make them today.
Given the turnovers and the penalties and the coverage busts, does that show a lack of attention to detail or not enough?
It's hard to say that when you go out there and do what they did with the amount of yards and things they were able to do and execution that happened on offense. To accumulate those yards, to be able to move the ball up and down the field and go get those things. When you get the penalties, we overcame a bunch of them, whether it be the hold-ins or whatever the case may be. But I definitely agree with you when you talk about penalties. Always a lack of concentration. There's always a lack of discipline, or a lack of always loss of control. We didn't have the loss of control penalties with the 15-yarders and things of that nature. But what we did have was it looked like a lack of discipline, maybe in technique, or a lack of control, maybe in body control of what you need to do in order not to get the penalties that we had today.
Do you think Kirk handled the moment coming back here, the pressure, homecoming?
It's hard to say when you lose that way. How you handle the moment. We didn't handle the moment well as a team. We didn't go out there and play well enough for him in order to get him a win, back at this hostile place. What a great environment they provide. What a great environment to go play in. You like to play in that type of environment every single week. A lot of credit to the Minnesota fans, a lot of credit to the Minnesota team. Kirk came out and really did a nice job of trying to get his win, and we did not support him enough around him today, and we got to find ways to do that better.
Raheem, down touchdown for the fourth quarter. Was there any thought of putting in Penix and
Not today. Not today. I wanted him to go finish his deal out here in Minnesota, be able to play the game and go out there and play the game like he wanted to play. And that was my decision, and my decision alone. Not today.
Once you all are out of first place now, how do you all try to regroup before you go to Vegas and play the Raiders?
Yeah, really just focus on us, right? We got to go find a way to get a win. And it's really about us trying to find ways to get win, really just focus on us. We got to worry about us as opposed to what's happening around us. And, those are things we got to do. A lot of credit to Tampa. They won 3 in a row. We lost 4 in a row. Got to give those guys in our division a lot of credit. It's time for us to reset the page and find a way to go out there and get a win and start next week out in Vegas.
Do you feel like you're playing significantly worse the last month, or were you just getting away with some things in the first 6 weeks that you're not now?
You got to say worse whenever you get lost, whenever you lose. You're not playing as well as you played early on. We were able to finish games and go out and find ways to win those type of games. We were able to find ways to overcome penalties. We were able to find ways to score in the red zone, and we're not doing that right now. So you got to say worse.
Anything else?
Yeah, your pass rushing team showed up, I think, 4 and 7. Might have some more after that, but is that something you said it was repeatable after last week? You want to keep that going here down the stretch?
Just from a blink, looking at the game, it looked like we caused some significant pressure. Even some of the plays he made downfield, he made some outstanding plays in the backfield, avoiding some of the people that were unblocked or people that were blocked and came off on a nice rush and whatever the case may be. And he made plays on the field. I don't want to take any credit away from Sam Darnold, what he was able to do when he stepped up in the pocket. I did like to see some of the pressure that we were able to apply. Clearly not enough when a guy goes out there and does what he does.